Hello everyone. Welcome to Global Voice. I am your host, Temi Aruna, and I am joined today by my lovely guest, Hanny. Hanny, if you want to I'll leave it to you to just introduce yourself, talk about your background, your major, how long have you been at UCM, any information you feel like, giving to us, kind of start this off.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Hanny Barry. So I'm from England. I'm currently an exchange student here at UCM. My major is political science with a minor in international politics. If you're wondering why I came to UCM, which people ask me all the time, UCM is actually partners with my university back in England, Liverpool, John Moores. And obviously when deciding where to move to, I was more focused on, a campus, close-knit town. Didn't really want to move all the way to America, then move all the way to somewhere like New York.
Absolutely.
Was just trying to reduce risk,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah, make it a smooth trip.
Yep.
Back here. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Well, right off the bat, how many people have you had trying to imitate your accent since you got here?
God. Oh my gosh, no, I don't even know. I've lost count. I lost count in August. And the thing is, right, when it began, when I first got here, I understood, everyone trying. But guys, I've been here for almost 4 months now.
Right,
it shouldn't be exciting
leave it
anymore.
alone. Come on,
You shouldn't be trying to imitate my accent anymore, guys. You should be used to the way I sound.
Absolutely.
But no, it still happens in class, out of class, on campus, off campus, wherever I go. I even got stopped by the security guy in the airport when I went to Atlanta. He tried to imitate my accent.
And they won't
it's everywhere.
They make you stay there until you.
Yeah, I've had a DoorDasher try to imitate my accent before. I'm just trying to get my food. But no, it happens way too many times for me to count.
Once they hear it, they don't know how to act. I think so. Alright, so we'll kind of start off with just talking about holidays and food because, who doesn't like food? What are some notable differences between English food and American food? I know you have a lot to say about that.
I don't know where to begin. Okay, so I think where I'll start is the fast food. We all have things like McDonald's and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we have different menus, which is not crazy or anything. But the thing that is crazy is the portions, the difference in portions.
Yep.
Okay, so in England, our large is smaller than your medium.
Okay.
So when I saw a large fry here,
no,
but I mean it's good. Yeah. I get full. It's a lot cheaper as well. A lot more options to choose from. We also, as we established, have different names for different foods.
Yep, absolutely.
In the morning when I go to the dining hall, I have to ask for a biscuit, not a scone. And I'm telling you guys, it's a scone. Okay, and it's a scone that you have fresh cream and jam with, not a scone that you have gravy with. Yeah. And that's another thing about the gravy. Your gravy is white, our gravy is brown. I don't know what happened there.
There was something got lost in translation.
I really don't know what occurred there, but that's not okay. But I was actually talking to one of my friends and she told me something and I was like, yeah, that happened to me, but here. So she went to England, right? And London specifically, and she ordered a lemonade. Oh, wow. And she got given Sprite. So for us, lemonade is fizzy. It's Sprite or it's 7-Up or, Starry, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But here, you ask for a lemonade, they're going to give you a lemonade.
Straight up lemonade.
And I've gone to Chick-fil-A before and been like, hey, can I get a lemonade? And they gave me real lemonade. The strong,
straight out the
real
lemon.
So I was like, yeah, that's another difference. So I have to watch what I say. And now my last thing, which really gets me annoyed, I literally tell everyone this, right? So here, we have burgers. We have burgers everywhere, right? So when I go to Chick-fil-A, I now have to ask for a chicken sandwich, not a chicken burger. And it really frustrates me because people have this argument with me. Okay, but to us, we basically argue that a burger is about the bread. Yeah. So it's if it's in a burger bun, it's immediately a burger. Exactly. No matter what's in there, it's a burger because it has burger buns. around it, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's a chicken burger. Where is the chicken sandwich coming from?
The
Because to
confusion
me,
is
if I
real.
ask for a chicken
Mhm.
sandwich in like England, I'm gonna get like toasted bread,
Yeah,
lettuce, like
exactly.
an
Get the
actual
whole,
sandwich,
the whole
like a
root, right.
Subway,
Mm-hmm.
not a burger.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
you guys really need to change that up.
I feel like a lot of it is really in the difference in like not slang necessarily, but just the way we describe things.
Mhm.
Like, and I think that's a big thing that we need to change around because I remember hearing some of this stuff for the first time and I was like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all talk
And a lot
talk
of the
about
a lot of the ingredients that you guys have in your drinks and
that.
stuff
Oh
is
my
like
God.
illegal in
Yes.
England.
Yes.
We wouldn't. So everyone knows I'm addicted to Fanta. I love Fanta so much.
It's a good drink.
But like I love Fanta from abroad. Like
Mm.
growing up, Fanta's my favorite drink in England,
Mhm.
but I crave the one abroad
Mhm.
because abroad the Fanta is not filtered. You know,
Mm.
it's got all the real ingredients. It's got the amount of sugar
Mm.
that I want. But in
Yeah.
England, like literally, the Fanta is yellow and heavily watered down.
Mm.
Whereas I've come here where it's like toxically orange,
Yep. That
very
carbonation will kill
literally
your whole throat.
very sugary,
Yep.
and I love that, but I'm low-key addicted.
Mm.
I don't know how I'm gonna go back to yellow Fanta.
It's gonna be a struggle. I just know you're gonna be just crying about it.
Yeah.
I miss that Fanta. So let me see here. What are some of your favorite holidays? And so far, any holidays you've experienced in America that you prefer, that you like?
I don't prefer anything.
Alright.
Wait, no, because we need. I don't think I've really experienced a holiday here.
Mhm.
I'm about to experience
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving,
yeah.
so maybe if you asked me like a week later, I could have told you. But from what I know, nothing
No.
so far.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's a holiday, but like you guys were talking about fall break,
Yeah, fall
and
break.
then when fall break came, fall break was 2 days.
Yep.
So
2 days in the weekend. It's
you
like,
know,
bruh.
it was a long weekend, so I didn't get the holiday point, just
It's just that joy
yeah.
of just not being in school for 4
Mhm.
days. I think that's what it
But
was.
yeah, we don't have Thanksgiving, so
Mm.
I'm definitely intrigued.
Mm.
English people, I always say this, the only time English people are happy is during Christmas and when there's
Mhm.
football.
Mhm.
So like Christmas in England is taken very seriously. So
Yeah.
like we have a very good, I don't know, like a good vibe when it comes to Christmas. They take it very serious. So
okay.
I feel like to top that will be quite hard.
Okay. So like in terms of just holidays in general, what's your favorite aside from maybe Christmas?
Does my birthday count?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, my birthday.
We'll count that. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I like that
My
answer.
birthday. Sorry, guys.
So, I mean, we already talked about differences between holidays. I mean, you've only seen.
I've seen none really.
Yeah, you haven't really seen any differences yet. You might see Christmas in a little bit too, like how different Christmas is. Christmas here is a lot. It's very depressing these days. Only these days compared to how it used to be. Only because things are so expensive here that people don't even buy gifts anymore.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, but I
So
don't.
do you guys have a thing called Christmas markets?
We have Black Friday. There we go.
Black Friday has
Yeah.
nothing to do with Christmas.
Yeah, but like that's our like
Black
discount
Fridays.
shopping. Yeah.
No, we have we have Christmas markets, and I love Christmas markets.
Yeah.
I will go to about 5 Christmas markets in England, and basically what it is, it's like a strip, like a road. So every city has one. So like, let's say KC would have one, right? And it'd be like a long road of stalls with hot food, like hot chocolate with marshmallows, or like I don't know, like warm hot dogs, or like Chinese food. And then at the same time, there'd be like there'd be like a bar, and then there'd be another side where it's just rides.
Yeah.
So like the big wheel. It's like it's just a thing where you dress up really cozy. You go to a Christmas market, you try all the food on every different stall. You try all the hot chocolate, you try all the s'mores, and you dress cozy and you go on some rides.
That sounds very peaceful.
Yeah, it's so lovely.
Yeah. There are some places in America that kind of do things similar to that. Warrensburg does not.
Not one of them.
I've not experienced anything like that in Warrensburg so far.
Yeah.
But man, that sounds amazing. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears here a little bit. Actually, wait, no. Before we switch gears, what do people like to eat the most, or like what is something that you think British people tend to eat the most, like back home?
Beans. We love beans on toast. I'm
So it's true.
currently
Beans on
dying.
toast.
I'm currently dying without my beans. I might have considered ordering beans on Amazon just to fulfill that craving. But I feel
Honestly,
like that's a bit illegal. But I do miss beans on toast. The thing that I ate every single day in England was crumpets.
Ooh,
Crumpets are a real thing, and they're really
I
nice, and I love
one.
them. It's like spongy bread. It's not toast, but you toast them.
Yeah.
But you can put anything on them the way you
wow.
would put on toast. It is so good.
Hmm.
So toast, beans on toast,
Okay.
and roast dinners.
Roast dinners. What
Yes.
what kind
I
of like
love
turkey?
a roast dinner. I need a roast dinner. A roast dinner, it could be like any meat. Like it's usually turkey. But lately people have introduced like pork and roasted beef as well.
Yeah.
Or chicken. I've roasted a chicken before,
wow.
and it's got like different things. I would make it here, but I genuinely just wouldn't find some of the ingredients.
Yeah, some of the ingredients are just gonna be missing.
No,
it just won't taste the same. It won't feel the same either.
But definitely that the crumpets.
Okay, awesome. So we're gonna switch gears here and just go to cultural differences. I think this might be a really fun one to talk about. So, are there any kind of stereotypes about the UK that you find either false or kind of amusing, or just like you're like, yo, this is false?
This is false? I don't know. What have people come up to me and said? I mean, I've had somebody like sympathize with me because our queen died, and as much as I thanks,
I'm so sorry.
As much as thank you. I didn't know the lady. She was an amazing queen. Don't get me wrong.
I didn't know nothing.
But yeah, I mean, what else? We get some of the stereotypes are really true. Like people come up to me like, "Do you say Tuesday?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Tuesday.
I do."
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Do you drink tea?" Yes,
yes.
I do.
Who doesn't?
And the thing is, it's true. Like the tea culture in England is serious. Like
Yep.
wherever you are, if it's a school setting, a work setting, a social setting, you're gonna be asked like multiple times if you would like a cup of tea. That's how we break things. It's like, we have this saying where it's like, are you gonna put the kettle on? Which is like, are you gonna start making the tea?
My tea? Yeah.
So it's like wherever you go, you are gonna ask if you want tea. That's like the first question.
Oh wow, I love that.
So we take it very seriously, and people have tea like all amounts of the day. So like morning,
breakfast,
lunch. We actually have a section in the day called tea, which is your tea is like, how can I say? Your tea is like from 5 to 6.
Wow.
You can have your dinner a bit later on, but tea is before dinner. Yeah, there's a
you got
whole
a schedule.
Thing. There's a whole
it's
thing.
Like, what are you doing later, bro? I'm drinking tea, man. Sorry, I can't come to my event.
Yeah, I don't really know what. I mean, I guess people think that we're a bit healthier. I feel like that's just America.
I think the general consensus is like America's so unhealthy that we hear people like investing in healthier foods and we're like, oh, they must be a healthy country automatically.
Yeah, and I guess some Americans that ask me very interesting questions, like they just think that England must be a small village. I'll be like, do you guys have Snapchat? Do you guys have Instagram?
We're living in a medieval age. Like, come on, bro.
Well, they'll ask, like, I got asked the other day if I've ever had a cheesecake. Come on. Excuse, I'm pretty Europeans made cheesecake.
Like literally, it originates from us.
Yeah, so I get a lot of random questions like that, like, have you ever tasted this and that? And it will be like the most random things.
Yep.
Like, yes, babe.
Absolutely.
I have.
Have you felt like all of the questions are just like from a place of like genuine curiosity, or are they actually? Do you feel sometimes that they're doing it to make fun of you?
I don't think they're doing it to make fun of me. I just think it comes from I think it is slightly because of curiosity and a lack of education. Let's put it there.
No,
like,
Americans don't know anything.
I think it comes from a place of curiosity. Don't get me wrong, but also ignorance. Like, how could you ask me if I have if I know of a certain social media platform? Right. Like, to me, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
And then to also ask me, like, if I've tasted something that was made by my people is even more insane. You know what I mean? I feel like I get that you're curious, but did you try?
Like, it's like the questions that you're like common sense. Like common sense will tell you otherwise. I remember like first coming here and the questions I used to get like from like a Nigerian perspective was like, oh yeah, have you ever ridden an ostrich? And I'd just be looking at them like, what are you talking about, bro?
Literally, some of them are really outrageous.
Like, I'm genuinely like, you didn't think before you answered like asking that.
Outrageous.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Man. So actually, I just thought about this question just now. So what other nationalities or ethnicities are you, like, aside from like?
Oh, okay. So I'm West African. I'm from Guinea.
Nice.
It's a francophone country, so
Mm.
we speak French.
Mm.
A lot of my family also were born in France, so I guess
Mm.
I claim French
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
Guinean.
Okay. Oh,
But yeah,
this is
that's
worldwide.
very different to
Nice.
here.
Mm.
That was another thing that I noticed. Like you can go up to a Black American and
Yeah.
be and be like, "Where are you from?" And they'll be like, "Texas," and I'm like, "But where are you
Where are you from?
from?"
It's like, oh yeah, I'm actually
And they
from
were like,
Africa.
"No, I'm from Texas Tech."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh,"
Mm.
but like that was like a really big shock to me, and
Mm.
I should have known better,
Mm.
but I guess in England, when you ask somebody where they're from,
Usually
obviously
it's
they were
from,
born in
yeah,
England and raised in England and
yeah,
we're British,
yeah.
but they'll always tell you, oh, like I'm Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm African,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yep.
this, I'm
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
But here that doesn't happen.
It
Like
doesn't happen.
they from
Yeah.
Texas,
Yeah. A lot.
like
Straight from
really,
Texas, born there,
literally.
raised there, everything. Yeah. A lot of them, like their parents are sometimes like parents, great grandparents are from Africa, but
But they
they
just don't
claim like,
claim.
oh yeah,
Okay,
I'm
fair
from
enough.
Arkansas. It's like, huh?
Oh, really?
Really?
Like,
Oh, okay.
wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
Mm.
I've met people as well who like are from here,
Mm.
but they've done like ancestry stuff
Mm.
and found
Yeah.
out
Found
where
out.
they're
Yeah.
from, which I would want to. Like as much as I am British and
Yeah.
I advocate for Britain
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
I am African first.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm so proud of being
Yes, ma'am.
African. Like
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
literally me. Like
Yes,
I
ma'am.
wouldn't be me without being
Right.
African.
Right.
So like I claim that so much. So like if I
Absolutely.
lived in England and I didn't know where I was from, I think I'd be unsettled
Yeah. Very
not knowing.
confused.
So
Yeah.
I definitely, if I was in that position, I would have done those
Mm.
ancestry things like
Yeah.
straight
I want to
away.
find out if I'm 1% German. It's like,
Literally, I
oh
don't
yeah.
care. I need to know.
Like, please give me the
I
info.
need to know.
Yeah. Very important. All right. So, ooh, I think this is a very fun, interesting one. So, what are some words or phrases used in Britain a lot that you found like confusing or funny when like interacting with people from other cultures? So, like, I know you guys say stuff like, "Oh, I clocked that," or like, "Oh, like this person aired me." Like, what are some ones that
Yeah,
have
that's my
confused some
slang
people?
though. People do, but I try to like limit what I say
Mm.
just to avoid questions. I can't be
Mm.
bothered explaining it to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
But when I'm speaking to an American, I kind of just don't. Sometimes when it's my friends, like
Mm.
you're gonna have to take
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah. You
what
got
I say, you need to learn
you understand. You
eventually.
got to understand at one
Do you
point,
know what I
right?
mean? But there are some things that I can say without it being weird. Like I say hi mate to
Mm.
I say mate to everybody, and
Nice.
I'm sure they know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Exactly.
But other things, I don't know. Like we have different words, and
Mm.
that's just the same as here. Like I've had friends here who have taught me things that I said here that I never
Mm.
knew, like
Yeah.
mugging.
Mugging.
I was like, what's a mug?
Mugging is
Because in
it's a
England,
very
being a
funny one.
mug is like you're an idiot. Like I was really confused.
You're
Like
just looking at it
yeah,
going,
because
huh?
sometimes we use the same words,
Yeah.
but they mean different things.
Yeah.
So like again, if you called me a mug or said
Mm-hmm.
mugging, I'd be like,
You would have been offended,
wow,
like, huh?
what did I do?
Yeah, what did I
Like,
do to you?
but yeah, I'd say that's it.
Mm.
Really.
Okay,
Clocked.
okay.
What does clocked mean here?
Clocked is like, oh yeah, you hit someone, like
You
I
hit
clocked them in
somebody,
the head,
right?
yeah.
But to
Mm-hmm.
me, if I say I clocked that, it means
Yeah.
like I noticed,
Yeah,
I
you noticed,
realized
yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really cool. Wait, so give me some more, because now I'm interested. Like, what
Give you
other
some
like
more.
slang do you have like in
Oh,
Britain?
the one that you mentioned, aired. I
Aired,
say
yeah.
aired a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Aired literally just means you were blanked, like
Yeah.
you were ignored.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, oh my god, like I seen you yesterday,
Yeah.
but you
You
aired
like aired
me,
me. Oh, okay.
and that's like you just walked past me, you
You
didn't
didn't
pay
acknowledge. Yeah.
anything to me. I don't
Yeah.
know what else. What do I use a lot? Okay, peng, leng.
Peng, yeah.
That means you're fine, like
Mhm.
you're really good
Yeah.
looking. And that's another thing. Somebody was really confused because in England, when somebody's good looking, we say,
Yeah.
oh, they're fit.
Yeah.
And they're like, athletically? Like, I'm like, no.
It's like, nah, bro.
Like maybe you are actually fit, but then
Mhm.
that's not what I mean.
Mhm.
Fit just means like, it's like your version of hot, I guess.
Okay.
So there's
Interesting.
that. I don't know
Yeah.
what else. There's probably loads that I can't think of.
Yeah. But those like off the top of your head, that's the ones that
I think
come to
those
mind.
are the ones that like
You use
I
most of the time.
use all the time. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, here we just use whatever. There's new slang, like 30 new
day.
slang words every single day. I can't keep up these days. I'm like, it's so confused, man. Let's see here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bottle
Bottle of water.
water.
Okay.
You say it like that, or do you?
I say bottle of water. But when I'm talking quickly, I'm gonna say it like that. Like if I was like, "Have you got a bottle of water?"
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna say it. If I was just like, if I wasn't thinking. But I feel like that comes from like different accents in England. There's so many different accents in England. Like you drive 20 minutes, you're gonna be hearing a completely different accent.
Yep. I've heard some British people that sound Irish.
Yeah. So
Irish. Like
where I live is Liverpool,
Yeah.
and they are Scouse people. So
Oh.
they're a mixture of like Irish and Scottish people, and they have made a completely different language.
Oh my
Basically,
God.
they have a very strong accent, sound very different to me. But for me, I'm from the Midlands, which is closer to the south, closer to London.
Yeah.
So we call it the Queen's
The
English.
Queen's,
Like
okay.
I speak properly. So bottle of water, what I just said, is not proper English.
Yeah.
You need to actually pronounce the T's.
Uh-huh.
So like if I was in a formal setting, I'd be like, could I have a bottle of water?
Yeah.
Because that's the proper way. But if I was just with my friends and I need a bottle of water,
Yeah,
like pass me
exactly.
the bottle
Just
of
give me the
water, you know?
Right.
But that just comes from different accents, I guess. But people do say that. We do.
Okay. Have you had any like kind of communication issues with people since you got here?
Yes. Yes, I don't even know where to begin. I've had that with like let's say outside of campus first, like I don't know, like in like restaurant settings or store settings. People are like, what? And I feel like one thing that like really surprised me is like in England, if I hear a different accent, I'm already trying harder to understand you, right? Whereas here, it's like they've automatically heard that I don't sound like them, so they're not even willing. They're not even willing to even try and understand what I'm saying. But if you actually listen, you'll find out I'm actually just speaking English.
Exactly.
Like if you just try and listen a bit, like you'll know. In class, I do a lot, which can be annoying. Like people. One thing I will say is the American people do love the British accent.
They absolutely do.
But I do feel like on a serious note, like in class, maybe like in a group work setting or something, people will struggle to understand you, which gets frustrating because I'm just constantly repeating myself. Yeah. So, and I feel like I always have to be 10 times more clear, even though I personally think British English is very clear.
It's not that
like
hard to
I think it is
like,
very clear, but I feel like I'm always trying so hard. I'm not really gifted with the loudest voice.
Oh, so you have to like scream in class.
Yeah, like I'm practicing for a conference that I'm going to in Chicago, and my teacher's so concerned about my voice. Like she's been trying to train me to be louder, and every time that I'm loud, she buys me something British. Yeah,
giving you incentive.
Literally, she's like,
nice.
Hanny, if you could shout and I can hear you at the back of that classroom, I will buy you PGT, which is like my favorite tea.
Man, honestly,
and
you know, professor, right?
She does, but like, again, not being very loud and then also having a different accent definitely causes communication issues. Some people are just not willing. Let's just say it like that. Like some people are just not willing.
I experienced that a couple times when my accent was like really like thick Nigerian accent. It was like they'd look at you and you'd have to say it like
again,
5 or
like
6
did
times.
I not just speak English?
At one point, I would just give up, like, bro, like just get my friend over here to translate what I say.
And the thing is, I already know that's gonna happen, so I'm already trying so hard to be extremely clear, but still nothing.
I understand like how our parents feel like trying to like talk and like it's like, oh my god, it's frustrating, man. All right, so we're gonna switch gears again, and we're gonna talk about this is an interesting one: challenges and adaptations. Okay. So, what are some notable challenges you kind of faced when you first like came to UCM, other than the food, like adjusting to the food?
Say that again, sorry.
Yeah. What are some challenges you kind of faced when you first came to UCM, other than the food?
Okay, the first thing, the weather.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
I know it's like raining, and cold, and depressing.
No, because the heat almost killed me. Like, I need to put that out there. Okay, England is a place where it's like, we don't get a lot of sun. I hate heat personally. I'm a very like winter person. I like the cold. I don't mind the rain. But England, like, we do have hot seasons, which is like August, but even then, it's not nowhere near as hot here. And then the thing is, even when we do have it, it's gone by like the end of August. We could have it for a week and then it would just be gone. So, coming here, and when I was like researching where to go to, I did put weather into it because my parents know me. I will die in heat. Like, I'm back. They didn't even send me to Africa at certain times of the year because they don't feel safe knowing that I would probably faint from heat. Literally, so I got here. And, I appreciate that everything's air conditioned here. We don't even have air conditioning in England. There's no point for it. Like, it doesn't get hot.
Because it's already like cold out.
But like, it was bad. Like, it was really bad. And the issue with that, it was like, it was never ending heat. Like, if anyone remembers, like, I was asking all the time, like, when does the heat stop? Like, when does it stop?
It doesn't.
It was October and I'm still sweating. Like, what do you mean?
It like kept getting worse each day.
Even November, like, I'm born in November and I feel like by November, I'm already freezing. I'm in my jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I was walking around in t-shirts because I was sweating walking to class.
It's still hot. It's still like 90 degrees outside.
Literally,
like, huh?
So I feel like the heat almost knocked me out. And like I said, I did my research and I was lied to. I'm just going to put that out there. I was told that it only gets to this certain amount of weather.
Nope.
And it only gets to, like...
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, I can handle that because I live in England. I've experienced that.
Yeah.
Got here and it was like 15 degrees more.
Oh my God.
I was like, guys, I can't do this. Until October as well was like crazy. And now I'm being told that the winter is also bad. So it's like...
Yeah, Orangeburg is very famous for our false winter, false summer, false spring.
Everything, it's just all a scam, really. In England, the weather's like, it doesn't go to an extreme.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like, the summer goes to an extreme and the winter goes to an extreme. So either way, I'm just done for.
You're just suffering.
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy.
The weather was definitely something. Like, any family member that called me, like, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine, but it's really hot. It's really hot outside, but, I'm okay.
You haven't had a heat stroke.
So what else did I have to get used to?
Yeah, what are they?
The education system. That I feel like I've gone backwards.
I know you guys had this very fun thing called A-level back home.
Oh, God, man. Don't bring that up.
You wanna talk about that? No. Or is that too traumatic?
That is quite traumatic. I feel like the British education system is built to really test you and push you to your limits. It's hard. Like, it's extremely difficult. But I feel like in that being difficult, and especially at such a younger age, so A-level, as Temi just mentioned, is something that you take at your high school age. So already A-level was like preparing me for university and so much more. Like, A-levels is hard. Like, your teachers will tell you A-levels is harder than university, than the first 2 years of university, and they're not lying, like, whatsoever. So I'm used to being, I'm used to dealing with, like, hefty content. I'm kind of used to being bombarded with information, and it's more of a thing where it's like, if you don't understand it, you better go home and understand it, Whereas I feel like when I got to university as well, it was kind of the same. In England, while you're in university, obviously you're viewed as a student, but you're also viewed as a adult with other commitments. So I feel like in England, your teachers, they don't want to keep you for long. They understand people have work. They understand some people have families even. So it's more of a thing where it's kind of up to you. You go to your lectures. I have about 2 or 3 lectures a week, or seminars, which is like smaller groups where you discuss, and they will put that for me in the same 2 days. So I'm only physically going into my classes 2 days a week, whereas I've come here and I go to multiple classes. Yikes, Monday to Friday. Oh my God. And then it's the assignment. Okay. No, because this was a very big shock for me, and I've also spoken to my other British friends who have gone to America, and we seem to all be facing the same issue. It's like here, my teachers will give me very easy work, in my opinion, very easy work. But it's constant. So it's like, it's every day. I'm giving a new quiz. I'm giving a new activity complete. And for me, it's pointless because I feel like I can do this. It's just time consuming. Whereas I feel like I could use that time. I'm a political science major. I could use that time to read or research. Instead of doing a quiz, or an activity or writing 2 paragraphs. Like, I feel like, to me, those are the things that we were assigned when we were in school. Like, your teacher wanted you to stay active. Whereas in England, your assignments are already set from the beginning of the semester. You know that when it gets to December, you have like 3 or 4 assignments. They're hefty though. They're like 5,000 words each. But you know that it's in December, right? Whereas here, it's like you finish 3 things, they give you 6 more. So I feel like I've gone backwards in the sense that it's like a pipeline of work. Like I'm back in school, and I feel like it's very it's just time consuming, and things being time consuming is what drains you more. Absolutely. And another thing is that in classes as well, I've noticed the pace is different. Like I said, in England, you go to 1 or 2 classes and I will learn a topic within that day or within that hour or 2. Whereas here, my teacher can talk about the same topic for about 2 weeks.
Yup.
And I feel like that really slows me down. Like like I said, in England, they bombard you with information, and it's down to you. And I like that independence. Like,
Yes.
it's down to you. If you did not understand what he said that lecture, it's down to you to go home, do what you need to do, research it more, and then I feel like I'm also forced to go and learn about it.
Yeah.
But here it's like I'm being spoon fed all the information,
right?
to a certain
Yeah,
extent,
it's really taking their time, and it's like, bro, like we've been on this topic for like a month. Please, let's move on to something else.
Yes, and that's useful in school, but in university, I do feel like it's more about independence, because this is your degree.
Yeah, exactly.
This is your field. You're going into this field. I need to be eager to go and research into my specific field. You shouldn't have to literally give me everything.
That's why I always tell people self-learning is probably the best thing you can
definitely
develop,
is.
because the professors here, all props to them, they do a great job, but a lot of them, they're not doing a good job. Yeah, so you really have to learn everything yourself.
Yeah, the grade boundaries are different. In England, it's hard to get high grades, like extremely hard. You have to fight with your professor before getting a certain grade. Yeah. They're very strict. Whereas here, I get like 100 out of 100
on every assignment.
And there's also extra credit. England doesn't even know what extra credit is. Like,
it doesn't exist.
Yeah, like if I wanted to get extra credit, like sometimes I have exams, and on the back the teacher will put like 2 or 3 extra credit questions. Of course I'm gonna do it. Like, you know what I mean? So sometimes you can even get more than 100 out of 100.
Oh, wow.
Which is insane.
That is crazy.
Whereas in England, like, you'll be fighting for that 70. I'm not gonna lie. You'll actually fight for that 70.
Camping the professor's office every day, like, bro, come on, please.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot harder in England, a lot more hefty content. Here a lot more slow paced and a lot easier content, but so much more of it.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
That's amazing.
So, do you mean like other people from different places, not England? Like, how would it encourage them? I don't know, because I think it's the same. But I think it's only America with... Actually, I know France is very similar, but everywhere else, like, it's really hard, like everywhere else. Yeah. So coming here, I think everyone would agree with me. They've gone backwards. They've gone completely backwards, because it's really... I appreciate that it's more chill, but... University is not cheap. I feel like it shouldn't be chill. You know, I want to be bombarded with information.
Like if I'm paying for all this money, I should.
Yeah, I want to feel like I'm really being challenged, and I feel like in England I'm constantly being challenged. I'm constantly, I feel a bit more, productive when I'm really seeking my work out. Whereas here it's like, oh, I need to do this quiz. I can get 10 out of 10 really easily, but I do need to do about 3 of these quizzes. Do you know what I mean?
By the end of today.
Yeah, but in that same time, I could have read a chapter from a different scholar or a different professor, a different doctor in my field, and could have really understood something. So I think if you ask anybody from anywhere who's come here, they're going to say that they kind of went backwards a bit. Absolutely. But they might find it difficult in the aspect that there's so much of it. There's a lot of work.
It might surprise them a little bit, because they're like, I thought, how dare they give me work? Like, I thought I could just
every day of the week.
Every day, like, come on, bro, what is this? Man, this is an interesting question I have for you here. So, how has your own view of British culture kind of changed after spending time in different countries, especially America, if it has changed at all?
I mean this in no offense. No offense whatsoever. But I do believe British people are very educated. I think we're very informed. Yes. I think we're less narrow-minded. Yes. Less ignorant. Just that sort of thing. But what I will say is that we need to be more friendly, because I've come here and I always say there's a difference in American and British people. In America, I'm constantly being spoken to. I could be walking somewhere and somebody might even stop me and talk to me. Yeah. And I think that's really nice. I think that's really lovely. Yeah. Even though, obviously, sometimes you don't want to be stopped every day. But I think that's really nice. In England, you stop somebody, they're going to look at you and keep walking.
Right, they're going to be like, who are you? Why are you talking to me?
We don't do that. Like, obviously, in your own little neighborhood, like, you know your neighbors. But, like, to be actually walking somewhere or even on a campus and talk to somebody random, you're going to be looked at. So I do think the British need to be friendlier. We're very prestige. I know that. But yeah, what I will say is that, they're full of themselves, but I feel like we can be full of ourselves because we're so educated and informed. Makes sense.
Yeah, I do kind of see like the point of just like, I think Americans need to be more researched, because a lot of us tend to get our heads in, like, only see one point of view, and then that's the point of view we just for the rest of their lives. People don't like do research on anything outside of
Yeah.
that point of view. It's like you gotta see both sides of the argument.
Yeah. But not everyone's like that. Obviously.
It's a case by case.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just because here it's more common. Like,
absolutely.
I've definitely met people here that know so much and have told me so much. But at the same time, I've met some very interesting groups of people who really are rigid in their beliefs, which I mean is fair to them. But that's less common where I'm from. That's all.
Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna start wrapping up here. What advice would you kind of give to either future international students or just students who want to travel here, like for schooling or anything like that?
Okay, first of all, do your research. Know where you want to go. If you're wanting to go to a bigger city, go to a bigger city. If you want to go to a small city, go to a small city. Because that's really going to shape however long you spend here.
Absolutely.
Again, I'm in Warrensburg, very quiet, very close-knit. You know, it's quite hard to you have to plan if you want to leave this particular city. I'd also say be mentally prepared for the differences. You need to do your research, okay? You absolutely have to do your research, because now I have people in England who are asking me these questions. And I'm telling you, you need to be prepared for this, because, again, the workload completely different. The way of life completely different. What's it called? Like, even... it's the small things, like, for example, here you have roommates. You don't have roommates. The dorms are different. My dorm doesn't have a kitchen, you know. I share a bathroom. And it's like, can you do that? Can you really do that? And also, I'm somebody that travels a lot, but I am still homesick, like very much homesick. And I didn't think I would be, because, like I said, I travel a lot. I also live alone in England. It's not that I necessarily live close to my family or anything like that. But I am completely homesick just because of the amount of culture shocks that I receive a day. And that's going to happen to you no matter where you're from. So be prepared to be homesick, even if you really think you're strong, and you won't. You will. You absolutely will. You just need to be open to everything. You're not at home anymore. So if you can do that, I'd say go for it, because it's an amazing opportunity.
Really
They're different sides of the world, and I feel like you should definitely experience both of them. Because why not?
Exactly. You know, get a new perspective. You know, just go around traveling. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, but be prepared. Be realistic with yourself. Is that something you can do? You know, if you already are very, very close to what you know, you're not really sure you could do anything different to it, don't move it, because it's completely different. It's a completely different world. There's not even, we speak English, and to be fair, even that is like completely different. Like every single thing that I do here is completely different. It's a whole new world. So if you're not ready for such a dramatic change, I wouldn't recommend. So that's where your research comes in, and realistically evaluating yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah.
Awesome. So would you have any advice for anyone who would want to, for students who are thinking of like visiting Britain or just Europe in general?
Do it. 100%,
Shameless plug.
Like I said, I'm an advocate for Britain, and like I said, I think because we're so different, you know, America and Europe, you have to do it. I think it's something that everyone needs to do, because it's completely different. You need to experience. I'm not saying live there long term, but you need to visit it, because it's not what you know. It's completely different to what you know. But I definitely say do it and just see how the other side of the world lives.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, travel and just experience new things.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be forever. You can always come home.
Exactly.
You should definitely see what it's like. And there'll be aspects that you enjoy. I mean, I'm going to return to England eventually and definitely miss things about America that I don't get in England.
Yeah.
So, why not?
Exactly. You know, getting new experiences, and and that just gives you more to talk about. You know, you have those life experiences, meeting people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even if you're completely confused as to where you are, you know, you'll find someone who will eventually, guide you through that. So.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else you wanna talk about in terms of
No.
like life here? Okay, so let me ask this: what's been your favorite part about living here so far?
Would it be outrageous to say the Fanta?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I love the Fanta. I'm flexible to the Fanta.
Yeah, fancy.
I love the people that I've met. Obviously, if I didn't come here, I wouldn't have met certain people that now I personally don't think I could live without. Because yes, there's people that I've met here that I wouldn't have met if I came here. So I definitely love that. don't really know what else. I don't really know what else, but that, yeah.
Hopefully with Thanksgiving, maybe that
Maybe the
increases with time.
Thanksgiving. And I'm still here for a long time,
Exactly,
guys. I've barely
One more
experienced
semester.
anything. But I'm gonna say the people and my Fanta.
I
love my Fanta.
Gonna miss that Fanta.
I'm gonna really miss that Fanta.
Chick-fil-A now.
Oh yeah,
Chick-fil-A too.
I'm big on my Chick-fil-A. Oh, I've already planned to take like 5 bottles of
As
the
you
sauce
should.
home.
As you should. As you should.
I gotta improvise somehow.
Yes, ma'am. What are some of your general plans when you head back home? Like after
Like,
UCM?
After UCM,
Yeah.
I need to finish my degree. I'm still, so I am what you call a junior here.
Yeah.
So I still have my senior year to go. So when I get back to England, it's really gonna be head down, focusing on my senior year, completing internships, completing resumes, preparing for the real world, because
that adulting life.
yeah, the adulting
Oh my
life.
God.
So when I get back, I will just finish my degree and move on from there.
So,
But what I will say, I'll be very grateful for coming here, especially as somebody that majors in political science and international politics in particular. Moving to America definitely helps.
Yeah, to gain that like worldwide perspective, learn more about the world.
Yeah, I'll just be carrying on my academic life, really.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and going back to my roast dinners and cups of tea.
And your beans and toast.
Yeah, and very cold weather. And people that sound like me. I miss people that sound like
you.
me.
Everyone here has 2 accents at most.
I do. I really miss people that sound like me, but that's it. Yeah.
That's fair. All right, thank you so much, Hanny, for being our guest. Talked about a lot of things, differences of food, holidays, and culture between England and the U.S. See you guys next episode.